Hello, I'm Sarah Maiga, your go-to real estate expert and associate broker of Maiga Homes with Keller Williams Ann Arbor. Today, I'm going to cover one of my most popular seminar topics, 12 questions you should ask the builder before you make a decision to build with them. As I mentioned in a previous video, buyers tend to like new construction because it gives them options to customize and less stress because they're not in competition with other buyers. These are great reasons to choose a new construction home. But the reasoning also extends to choosing a good and reputable builder. Now, before you set out to interview a builder on your own, armed with this set of questions, I must also recommend that you hire a qualified and experienced realtor to act as your buyer's agent. You won't regret it. And you will likely get their value, expertise, and services for free. Because don't forget, 99% of builders will compensate your agent to represent you. So you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. And now, to what you've been waiting for. Here are the 12 questions you and your buyer's agent should ask any potential builder before you choose to build in a community. Number 1, what are the financial and legal ramifications if I'm not able to close when the builder's ready to close? Is there a daily fee charged? Could I lose my deposit? Could the builder seek legal action? This is a really important question because most new build contracts will state that you as the buyer agree to close within X amount of days after being notified by the builder that the home is ready. As you near the home's completion, you'll get a letter assigning you a closing day and time, and the builder expects you to close immediately, or there could be very serious ramifications. If you're expecting the home to be ready in June and the builder ends up completing it ahead of schedule, you don't want to find yourself in a position where they take your deposit and put your home up for sale as a quick delivery because you're not ready to close yet. I know this sounds awful, but it has happened, and we want to make sure that it doesn't happen to you. Question 2. What are my options if the home isn't ready in the quoted timeframe? If upon signing, the builder quotes that the home is supposed to be ready by October, November, and they end up delayed, you want to know if you have any options per the contract. The last thing we want to do is put your home up for sale 4 months prior to your new home being completed, as I recommend that you do, and you find out you have a 2-month delay after selling it, and now you're going to need temporary housing. Question 3. Am I responsible for the difference if there's an appraisal shortage? This is a really important question because builders upcharge for a lot of things that would not normally be considered on an appraisal. Some of the builders have it in their contract that you as the buyer agree to pay the contract price whether the home appraises or not. This could mean you are on the hook for potentially a lot of money. You need to know whether this is the case for you and if you run a risk of that happening. Question 4. How long after my home is completed will the homes around me be under construction? It is important to consider where your home is in the build phase because you may not want to deal with new construction noise and processes around you for multiple years. This might be a deterrent for you, and you need to know what is the lifestyle going to be like upon completion. Question 5. How many more phases will the builder build after my house is completed? One of the most interesting concepts with new construction is they tend to raise their base prices with each new phase and quarterly. So you want to know if they intend to build more units so that you can consider the resale timeline and perspective when making your purchase. If you're buying at the end of the new construction community, you're likely to pay one of the most expensive premiums and may have to wait longer than the other homes to see a return on your investment for selling it again down the line. Question 6. Does the builder charge a lot premium, and are there additional costs for a walkout or daylight basement? Almost every builder will charge you a lot premium that could range from a few $1,000s up to a few $100,000 depending on the community and price point. Generally, builders will upcharge for lots that back to woods, common spaces, have more land or space between the homes, are on a cul-de-sac, or other premium features. In addition, if the lot allows for a daylight or walkout basement, you'll also pay a higher premium as these are harder to come by and builders charge extra for them. Question 7. Will there be any association dues, and what are the restrictions, expectations, and amenities offered in the community? You will definitely want to get copies of the bylaws and master deed to see if there are any restrictions to what you can or cannot do to your new home, as well as what your responsibilities are. Believe it or not, some homeowners associations are more restrictive than others. For example, It is possible that in a 55 and up community that they will restrict visiting hours of kids, where you can park your car, and whether you can have kids stay the night. These restrictions are obviously important to know. Furthermore, you want to know if the community is planning to offer amenities such as parks, tennis courts, a community pool, or a clubhouse. If so, will there be future assessments for those amenities, or is the homeowners association collecting enough to cover these improvements? Finally, are your dues monthly, quarterly, or annually? And how much is the initial fee to join upon closing? Question 8. What will my taxes be at closing? Oftentimes, your taxes are initially calculated at a vacant land rate when you're looking at numbers, so it is very important to ask for hard data as to what other people are paying upon closing. You don't want to think your taxes will be $3,000 a year to find out it's actually $10,000 a year. Question 9. What are my design and structural options, and do you charge for those items? This is a really important question because a lot of time buyers assume that once they sign the purchase agreement, the price they agree to pay will be their final purchase price. But that is not the case. Generally, you only finalize structural options in the initial purchase agreement. Most design options like cabinets, countertops, flooring, lighting, windows, hardware are all selected after you've signed the agreement and put a large deposit down. You don't want to get to 3 months into the build process to find out that the included cabinets are brown polyester and the white wood cabinets are a $20,000 upgrade, or that it will cost $10,000 to add light switches into your house. Some examples include pre-purchase build options. This is things like a bump out, a family room, adding in a fireplace, floor plan changes, the orientation of your house, the size of your garage, your lot and where it's located. Some of the after-purchase aesthetic options include things like countertop material and color, the color of your room, your railings, laundry room details, flooring, lighting and fixtures. And some after-purchase finishes are things like crown molding, the curve of your countertop, knobs and soft close drawers, lights, speakers, and security systems. Question 10. Are landscaping, sod, and sprinklers included in the build cost? Most often, unless the builder is offering this as an incentive, you will need to pay out of pocket after closing to put in your landscaping, sod, and sprinklers. This could be an additional $15,000 to $30,000 depending on the size of the lot and home. Question 11. What are my expected well, septic, sewer, municipal water, and utilities options and costs? It's important to know whether you'll be on city water and sewer or whether you have a community well and septic system. Depending on where you're purchasing, either of these could be options and could affect your pocketbook if you're not aware of what is involved with these systems. And finally, question 12, what are my options if something isn't done right? This is probably the most important question to ask because you want to know how the builder operates and how they resolve issues. Every builder is different and some care more about your happiness in the experience than others. You want to make sure the builder will take the proper steps to remedy your issues in a timely and respectful manner. Now that we have covered the 12 most important questions to ask the builder when building a new construction home, you should be well equipped. My goal is to make sure that my clients are just as informed and comfortable with the process as I am, so that we can work together for the best possible outcome every step of the way. So if you have any questions about this topic or anything else involving real estate or new construction, reach out to me today, as I would be thrilled to help and be a resource for you. In addition, I create custom moving plans for each of my clients up to a year in advance so that we can be fully prepared and partners in this real estate journey. So if you think you're within a year of making a move, reach out at the information below today and set up a consultation with me. Plus, if I'm not able to personally assist you, I am part of a global real estate company and can refer you to a similarly qualified agent anywhere in the world. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel today and tune in next week as I cover what possible things could go wrong while building a home that I need to be aware of. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.